Okay, this is section 3.1c, and I'm going to show you a couple ways to graph when your when your equation is in slope-intercept form. Okay, so there are a couple ways here to graph when you're not here. You're not in this format. The first one is to move it to that format. Okay, so let's move this to that format. I want to get y by itself. So I'm going to move that 4x to the other side by subtracting it. So now I have 2y equals negative 4x plus 8. Now I have to get rid of the 2, but I'm going to undo that multiplication, and I'm going to divide each side by 2. And I have y alone, and then negative 4x divided by 2 is negative 2x, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So if you look at this, I'm going to start at 4, which is my b, and I'm going to go down to over 1, down to over 1. The opposite. So if you look at this, it shows the place that it intersects the y and a place that it intersects the x. So if you just had those 2 points, you could also just graph it with the 2 points, and I'm going to show you how to do that too. So here's a question. Write down how to graph an equation when it is not written in slope-intercept form. So the first way I just showed you is to rearrange the equation to slope-intercept form. Or the second way is you can graph using the x and y intercepts. And I'll show you how to get those. Okay, so we're going to work on that. Okay, so number 1. Let's rearrange this one. I'm going to show you how to rearrange. We want to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I have negative 5y equals negative x plus 10. The super tricky thing here is when you're dividing everything by negative 5 to get y by itself, there's a 1 here. So this becomes y equals negative 1x divided by negative 5x. So that becomes 1/5 x. And 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. Okay, so let's graph. So I have negative 2, and then I'm going to go up 1 over 5, up 1 over 5. I'm going to go down 1 over 5, down 1 over 5. So we get both the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So the x-intercept is 10, 0, or 10, and the y-intercept, we know from the equation, is 0, negative 2, or negative 2. Okay, let's try to rearrange this one. Remember, our goal here is to get y alone. Y alone. So I am going to subtract 3x from both sides. I have 2y equals negative 3x minus 6. Now I'm going to divide by 2. Everything gets divided by 2. So I have y equals negative 3/2 x, and negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So I'm going to start here on negative 3. I'm going to go down 3 over 2. This time I'm going to put my negative sign on the 2, so I'm going to go up 3, left 2. I'm going to draw my line. Oh, this should be right here. Sorry. Let me fix this. There you go. So my y-intercept is -3, and my x-intercept is -2. All right, number 3. Let's see. Let's get y alone. So I'm going to subtract that 4x so it goes over to the other side. So I have 8y equals -4x plus 24. Now I'm going to divide everything by 8. So I have y alone, and -4 divided by 8 is let's just reduce that. So that becomes -1/2 x, and 24 divided by 8 is 3. Now that's in slope-intercept form, so we can graph. Okay, let's just correct something. This is negative. So those both will be negative. So this is negative, this is negative. Sorry about that. Okay, so when you divide -24 by 8, it's -3. So my y-intercept is down here below the x-axis. So I'm going to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Now I'm going to go up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2. There we go. So my x-intercept is -6. And my y is -3. All right, let's move to number 4. Graph 3x plus y equals 9. Okay, so I'm just going to move this 3x over to the other side using the inverse operation. So now I have y equals -3x plus 9. So our b, or our y-intercept, is way up here at 9, and I have a slope of -3 over 1. So I'm going to go down 3 over 1. So again, my y-intercept, or the place the line crosses the y-axis, is 9 or 0, 9. And my x-intercept, or that's the place where the line crosses the x-axis, is 3, 0. Oops. Or just 3. All right, moving on along. Number 5. Graph 5x minus y equals -5. Well, I'm going to move that x over like we have been doing. So I have -y equals -5x minus 5. I can't leave that negative sign because that means there's a -1 there. So I'm going to divide everything by -1, which just changes all the signs. So now I have y equals 5x plus 5. I'm going to start at 5. My slope is 5 over 1. So up 5 over 1. Super steep line. Okay, my y-intercept is 0, 5. And my x-intercept is -1, 0, right here. All right, number 6. Graph x plus 2y equals -8 plus x. Wow, there's a lot of organizing to do here. So again, let's get rid of that x. Let's take this one and subtract it from both sides. And it's gone. So now I have 2y equals negative 8. I'm going to divide by 2, and I have y is negative 4. Well, we have no x, so we're going to count down on the y-axis to negative 4, and we're going to make a horizontal line through that. There's no x-intercept here. We're never touching that x-axis, and our y-intercept is negative 4. Oh, yeah, that's right, negative 4. All right, you know we're going for the opposite thing here, so let's rearrange this one. So I'm going to distribute. There's some organizing to be done here. So I have 2 times y is 2y. 2 times negative x is negative 2x. Let's bring the y's over to one side. If I do that by subtracting 2y from each side, my y completely disappears. And I'm left with negative 2x equals negative 14. I'm going to divide by negative 2, and I have that x alone at positive 7. So I'm going to count over on the x to 7 and make a vertical line this time through it. So I have an x-intercept of 7 or 7, 0, and no y-intercept because it never touches the y-axis. And that is all I have for you today.